Good evening. I'm Louis C. Gross II, your host for Manhood Shelter Incorporated, educational consultant, educating our children. But I'll quote, oh, by the way, hello, Molly. That's my granddaughter. I have to say hello to her. That's my heart. Quote of the week by Marcus Garvey. People without the knowledge of their past history, origin, and culture is like a tree without roots. People without the knowledge of their past history, origin, and culture is like a tree without roots. If you don't control your community, people who don't like you will. Has that ever happened to you? You don't control your community, but you let other people come in and take charge. And they have a hidden agenda. You're thinking one thing, and they're on another plane. Stop, look, and listen. Now, Book of the Week. World's Great Men of Color by J.A. Rogers, edited by John Hendrick Clark. It's a comprehensive account of the great black personalities in world history. J.A. Rogers was one of the first black scholars to devote most of his life to researching the lives of hundreds of men and women of color. This first volume is a convenient reference. Equipped with a comprehensive introduction, it treats all aspects of recorded black history. J.A. Rogers' book is vital reading for everyone who wants a fuller and broader understanding of the great personalities who have shaped our world. Let me show you something here. Booker T. Washington dealt with education. Dr. Martin Luther King dealt with nonviolent movement. Now, let's take it a step the other way. Malcolm X, by any means necessary. Marcus Garvey, Back to Africa movement. Whites supported the nonviolent movement wholeheartedly. Why? That's the question. Now, if you look at Booker T. Washington and Martin Luther King, they were proponents of nonviolence, education, and established love. If you look at Malcolm X and W.E.B. Du Bois, he talks about nationalism. By any means necessary. See opposites. They can deal with nonviolence, but they can't deal with the realities of a situation in where somebody speaks up. Have you ever noticed if you speak up, you lose your job? That's a shame. You shouldn't be intimidated. Really, you shouldn't. But you know what? It's because you let them. It's because you let them. Think about what I'm saying. Ray Charles could see that. Now, let's deal with something else. Today I'm grateful. That's a question. Why? Why are you grateful? Okay, why are we paying for your mistakes? I'm talking about the politicians. Well, take your money to black-owned banks. They're talking about black in. By the way, this is Manhood Shelter at yahoo.com. Once again, Manhood Shelter at yahoo.com if you want to get in touch. By the way, City of Chicago Inspector General, that's the number. If you have any complaints and you want restitution, as they might say, here's who you call. Here's something else. Here's a question. Why are black men afraid of successful women? Can anybody answer that question? Why are black men afraid of successful women? And here's another question. Do black women want a man of their equal in terms of jobs, in terms of finances? Or do you feel like, look here, he is beneath me because he's not doing this or that? Well, you know what? You're going to be very lonely. And by the way, love is unconditional. We always say, I love you, but this is the reason why I got to love you. Especially when you don't love yourself. especially when you don't love yourself. And I see a lot of times I'm out and about in the community, and it's amazing to me how people treat each other. But then again, really they treat themselves that way. It's called transference. I don't like me, but I put it on you. He doesn't like me, but it really is you. You transferring. Remember, thermal energy never dissipates; it's just transferred. Your hate is transferred to someone else, and as we look at it, it's a chain reaction. Look at our community. It's really a shame that we treat each other the way we treat each other. It's due to proximity. I can knock you in the head, take your money, and run around the corner because policing is totally different on the south side as opposed to the north side. And I'm not just talking. I mean, look, the facts are there. The facts are there. By the way, there are 4 parenting styles and their effects. The authoritative parent, affectionate and engaged, sets limits and enforces consequences, uses reason, logic, and appropriate negotiation. Empowers a child's decision making. See, I'm getting to a point where the behavior is transferred from the home to the streets, to everyday living. The authoritarian parent, emotionally aloof, bossy, likely to say because I said so. Use physical punishment, verbal insults. Dismisses the child's feelings. See, that's another thing. When you don't give a child an opportunity to express themselves, then you stifle their growth, developmentally speaking. And therefore, they won't, instead of saying what they want to say, they'll change it. And that transfers into adulthood. Like a lot of our men and women right now. What you really want to say, you won't say. Well, for good reason. Even when you reach out and don't say anything, you still lose your job. The permissive parent, affectionate, anxious to please, ends every sentence by asking okay. Indulgent, can't say no and sticks to it. Easily manipulated. The passive parent, emotionally removed or indifferent. Uninvolved, advocates discipline, inconsistent and unpredictable. Your child could be happy, could be responsible, and good at problem solving. Or your child could be moody, anxious, and well behaved, an average, good student, and a follower. Your child could be demanding, whiny, easily frustrated, lacking kindness and empathy, a poor to average student, a follower. Your child could also be clingy and needy, inappropriate and rude, likely to get in trouble, a poor student, a follower. This all stems from how you raise your child. Caller, question or comment? Go ahead. You're on the air.
Yes, sir. Great show as always.
Thank you.
The thing is that all the points that you brought up are great points, but the one that never taught first is respect and pride.
Right.
Respect in your family and pride for everybody. This way people, that's a good way to go because you only have a 50-50 chance of going bad or good. And the way things are going right now, it's like 90% is going to go bad and 10% is going to be good because as soon as the first argument or whatever comes up, they put the kids out of the house.
Right.
Right? They don't feed them. They don't, they put them up. Whoa. You think that you're smarter than me and be on your own go. I don't need you here. And that's where the kids learn from the house, from the family, from the mom, the pop, from everybody, grandmother, from everybody that has respect and pride. You have to have that, and then it's not a lot easier, but at least it'll be easier on your mind. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that.
Right.
For respect, for pride. Not I'm going to go out there and get some drugs, or something like that. So, sir, great show, and keep up the good work.
Thanks, Ray. Have a great day. Caller, question or comment? You on the air. You on the air. Caller? Well, they'll get back to me. Call back. But my question also, are men afraid of successful women? The article was, are black men afraid of successful women? But then again, as you look at it, a lot of men are afraid of successful women. I need to get your comments on that, as well as the family, and also, what are you grateful for? What are you grateful about? And are you trapped in memory? What do I mean by trapped in memory? The other day I had a class, and I was talking to some young students about fabrication, or as we know, a lie. So I asked them, what's the difference between a white lie as opposed to a black lie? You know the answers I got for that? Which also goes back to the home setting. They're supposed to know that a lie is a lie, isn't it? But, you know, confabulation, fabrication, fantasy, imagination. Imagination can be great, but a lot of times if you go too far with it, we got a problem. But hey, I need to know, are black men afraid of successful women? But anybody can tune in on that. But vice versa. Are women afraid of successful men, or do they see him as a sugar daddy? You know, this is amazing to me. Now, a lot of this stuff stems from what? How you were raised. Like I always say, Proverbs chapter 22, verse 6. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he gets old, he will not depart from it. And home training is that is the basic step in terms of maturation, the developmental process. You know, cognitive, physical, emotional, cognitive, how one thinks, physical, how we grow, the motor activities, emotional, how one reacts to either positive or negative in situations. That can also affect them in terms of the outcome. Then there's social, how do we interact with each other. And most importantly, the one I see that we're really losing, the moral development. It's gone. Caller, question or comment, you're on the air.
Hey, how you doing today?
How you doing?
Hey, how you doing today? This is Steve.
Okay.
You know, you always bring in some wonderful thoughts. And see, that's the thing that I think that humans don't do. We exercise everything on our body except our brain.
You know, that's true.
Listen, about the first part, being grateful.
Yes.
My wife and I, we talk about this often, about being grateful.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some people, you could look at some people that might not be in a better shape than you are financially, but sometimes they might be in a better shape mentally than the people that have the money. Let me tell you, to be grateful, it's nice to have things where you don't have to do crazy things. It's wonderful to pay your bills.
Yes.
It's wonderful to have access to do certain things. It don't make you no better than anyone else, at least not in my eyesight, but it's wonderful to be grateful for anything what you got.
Right.
If you're living in a garbage can, be grateful for that garbage can. Take care of that can will take care of you.
Hey.
Now, to the part about the successful woman
Right.
Against a man. Now, see, we was raised, at least in my family, we was raised as the man's supposed to be the breadwinner.
So was I.
A man's supposed to take care of their family.
Right.
Back then, a woman, back then a woman took care of the house.
Right.
Well, as time had went past, there's a lot of women now are the breadwomen.
That's right.
Breadwoman, the breadwinner, and the man is sitting in the house, supposed to take care of the house.
Right.
But he's not taking care of anything now these days. The only thing he's taking care of himself. Now, and I'm not talking about all us men, because all men are not the same.
True.
Don't never be jealous of anyone else. If you got a woman that's very successful and she's taking care of you, you should be you should be really grateful. Because now these days, some people don't want to take care of other people. They take care of themselves. So I don't know. If a woman going to take care of me and she's very successful, I'm going to do everything in the world to make sure that woman stays successful, stay happy. Don't abuse it. Be grateful that you got that woman. And some way, try to find a way to put some more pennies with it.
Let me ask you this question. Look here. Okay, if the woman's taking care of the gentleman because of circumstances, would that affect his self-esteem? What do you think?
Well, sometimes it depends on that man. See, some men don't have no intention of going to do anything, so he don't care. He just glad that he got a breadwinner. Now, there's some men that do try to get things, but they're not able to get it. And, sometimes that lingers. They look, they say, dog, my wife, my woman, girlfriend, whoever is out here being very successful. Look around what I got, and it's not through me, but it's through her. Again, the thing is, everybody don't get it the same day. Just keep on trying. That's what a man needs to learn to do. If you got that woman, keep trying to do something to add on. My life that I believe in, 1 + 1 = 2. 1 + 0 just go equal 1. So that's the way I look at life. Listen, like I say, I love your shows. I love your quotes.
I love you.
And I know it could be something that I'm going to think about a little later.
Call back.
Listen, have a great day, safe day, and a wonderful weekend to everyone.
Thank you very much. It's always good hearing from you. Young people, and I do say young, because check this out. 70. It says in the Bible, 70 what, equals 70. But mathematically speaking, 25,550 days equals what? 70. I'm 70, the new 60. So they say. Believe me, I feel it sometimes getting up in the morning. Now the question is, are you grateful? And for what? You grateful to be alive? You grateful that you got children? And by the way, what is your legacy? Remember, it's not what you take out of the world, it's what you leave behind. That's your offspring. That's your reputation. Those are things that you've done to people for or against, but it all comes back. Are you afraid of a successful woman? I'm talking to you. And then vice versa. Women, are you afraid of a successful man? And by the way, what is success? Is it financial? Is it moral? That's the question. To be or not to be successful or a failure. What's failure? And by the way, do your children see failure? Is it rampant in the household? Is it contagious? We have what you call a family sculpture. In that sculpture, you have, the dependent or the breadwinner who seems to have a problem. It started out with him, the co-defendant, which is his wife, having a couple of drinks, and it was cool. Pretty soon, it got to the point where he had to have it, and she stopped. And it got to the point where he stopped taking care of the family, basically. He had to stop to have a few with the boys. And that continues. But now, the codependent has to take care of the family. And it's a lot of burden to make sure that the man of the house, the breadwinner, is taking care of those bills and the children. Now, the codependent has a daughter, or it could be a male, who's the hero. That hero sees what's happening with the head of the family, the mother and the father. So it assists the mother as much as it can. Very loyal, working, could be on their own, but it just stand to help the family. Then you have what you call the next one, the scapegoat. Everything falls on this person, this child. You should have did this, you should have did that, but that diverts attention from the dependent. So that child, the scapegoat, becomes defiant, reaches off into drugs, and always trying to deal with, why are you picking on me? We should be talking about him. Then the next one in the family is the one that's in the family that's aloof. He's there, but you never see him. He's always in his room, One day he just ups and leaves. You ever seen a person was in the family that for years was lost? He got away from it. Then the last one in that family is what you call the mascot. Everything centers around because he's always laughing and having jokes and all that. Keeps the family laughing. But this family represents a whole lot of families. When, the drug becomes out of control and it makes the family dysfunctional, which goes into the behavior of what we're dealing with when our children go to school. See, children act out in various ways, especially when they're disenchanted, especially when they're hurting, especially when, they want to lash back. So that goes from being a victim. The child at the home is a victim. It can't do or say what it really wants to. So what it does, when they hit the street or when they go to school, now they become the villain. They always say today's villain was yesterday's victim. When you do a historical approach, that goes to the behavior. They're acting out. It's really like displacement. I can't jack my mom or daddy up, but I can slap another student, or I can get in a confrontation with the security officer, or I can cuss an instructor out. See, these are the things you have to look at in terms of that behavior. So before you judge a kid, you got to see where he's coming from. It's like doing a historical approach, It also leads into are black men afraid of successful women? Matter of fact, the question should be, are black men afraid of themselves? Do they hate themselves? Because all that transfers to another individual that you're dealing with, or a group of individuals. We need to, sit down with our children and talk to them in a meaningful way. Not at them, not to them, but with them. It's a discourse, back and forth. But that leads into a better student, a better person. And that's what we all want to do. And that, my friends, is taking ownership of and responsibility for your behavior. Because remember, your child's irresponsibility becomes society's responsibility. From toting a gun to shooting somebody to being incarcerated. All these things fall back on the family structure. Like it was said earlier about roots. I could take an acorn and put it right here. Nothing happens. I can take that same acorn, put it in the ground. It develops what? It develops roots. It develops substance. That same acorn manifests itself into an oak tree. Now, that's an analogy to talk about your child. If you put the time in, if you nurture that child, because look here, money is not enough. You have to have nurturing. You have to make that child feel as though, hey, look, I love you. And that's another thing. When you're disciplining your child, remember this. Don't say, hey, I don't like you. No. Let's look at it. Johnny, I love you, but I don't like your behavior. Make the distinction. See, because that's teaching the self-esteem with that child. Oh, the Rosenthal effect. So he don't think I'll never be nothing, I'm no good. No, you don't want that. Because that transfers to the behavior. And that's the behavior we see out here. We see a lot of this behavior because, look here. People are not taking the time to deal with their child. They're letting other people raise their child. Think about what I'm saying. This is no Einstein theory. This is truly a fact, and it's a reality of a situation. So, what you say out your mouth must be exhibited in your behavior. So, it's just food for thought. And remember, in the teaching approach, the teacher as well as the student have to, relate to each other. And in that, it comes growth. Teacher, student, and relating to the situation. Taking problems and, dealing with it from a practical approach. So, I hope that we might have said something that grasps your attention. And in the meantime, I need to say goodbye to my granddaughter, Molly. I love you so much, and I'll see you shortly. And to the rest of you all, if you feel as though you run out of rope, Tie a knot and hang on. Everything's going to be okay. Thank you so very much. Have a great day.